There's a sign behind you that says, I was called by God to make a difference. What does that mean as it relates to Jackson State?
That means I was called by God himself, not a man next to the man, but God himself, to come here and provoke change. And when I say change, I mean change. I mean come in one way and leave another. Change. I mean think one way and then think another. I mean change. Look one way and then look another. That's what I mean by change. Come in here flat like a dollar bill and come out 4 quarters. I mean change.
How do you make change?
Well, you got to be disruptive with a cause, with consistency, with a plan. People generally are not comfortable with change. Change just disrupts a whole lot of comfortability. And oftentimes, you got to be willing to be that guy, willing to risk it, willing to attempt it, willing to secure it to accomplish your goals. And I'm more than willing, and I'm more than able, and I'm more than capable.
What's the change you want to see?
Where do I start? Now, brother, I could alliterate this thing and start with just. It's not just about winning. Right? We gonna win. It's about making things better for everybody, not just Jackson State, Mississippi Valley State, Alcorn, Grambling, FAMU. I could keep going. For everybody. This ain't just about us. This is bigger than that.
See, people think it's just about
it. Ain't just about. Why would be? You think I just can't? God just called me here to Jackson State to make a change? No. God called me to Jackson State, HBCU, SWAC, college football at this level, FCS, to make a change. This is way bigger than the natural eye could see and fathom.
What are we talking in terms of change? We talking about getting 5-star guys here?
No, it ain't about the stars. It's about not only getting people here, but where they're going after they leave here. It's about going to the next level. It's about producing professionals, not just professional football players, but professionals, period. Why can't we have a darn draft the same day they have the NFL draft, that's drafting our kids into Fortune 500 companies? Why can't we have that kind of draft? I ain't never heard of that. I think it. If I could think it, that means God impregnated me with it. Who's going to help me birth this baby?
So how do you get it going to Jackson State?
We've already gotten it going in Jackson State. You come in here with structure, with a plan, and continuously strategic, but yet consistent.
What's the biggest lesson you learned last year about coaching at this level?
First and foremost, there's some great coaches at this level. You just never heard of them, you never seen them. And thank God that now they've been exposed, and they've been seen, they've been heard, that they can really coach. It's not a game we participated in this spring that I didn't see a kid, a young man with NFL potential. It's not one game. I'm watching the game saying, dang, now outside linebacker, play that corner. Got it. Woo, that left tackle got something special. He has a gift. They have it, man. I saw some things that needed to be handled,
right,
to be checked, needed to be stabilized. I saw some things on our team. I'm glad we had the spring. If we didn't have the spring, I wouldn't know what I would do, because that was a tremendous evaluation in a game-type environment. I loved it. I needed it. I wouldn't know what to do right now if we hadn't had it. I'm so much better now than I was then because of the evaluation that we had.
Because expectations are high, not just because Jackson State been a great program, but you got 9 SEC transfers, you had a great recruiting class. How do you teach your kids to handle the expectations around here?
Well, we didn't recruit them not thinking they could. We recruited them because they told us. We identified the characteristics that they wanted to go to the next level. We're not recruiting guys or signing guys or having guys inside this locker room that don't want it all. If you just want to play football, this ain't the place for you. But if you want to go pro and be a professional and dominate and learn this game within the game and the game of life as well, this is the spot for you. But if you just want to play football, you can do that in the parking lot.
Is that your pitch to kids?
No, I don't pitch, first and foremost. I sit down and tell the truth, the unequivocal truth. The whole truth and nothing but the truth. I'm a straight shooter. See, most of these parents are my age,
Right.
or a little bit younger. So they know how I get down, and they know what I'm saying to them is genuine. I'm not promising them nothing but opportunity. Now, the main things that I need at a HBCU, I need two things. I need to make sure these kids have an environment where they lay their head, when they close their eyes, is comfortable and they're safe. And I need to be able to feed 3 wonderful square meals a day. Seems simplistic.
Right.
Seems normal. Oh, you can do that. No. It ain't that easy. Baby, it ain't that easy. But if we could do that all over the HBC, all over SWACs, all over the FCS, we got a chance, man.
Is that why? Is that part of the reason you've been so adamant about documenting your first year here?
Now, I've been so adamant about documenting my first year here because I want you to see the journey. See, it's one thing to hear the story, but you don't know the story. But when you see the story, that's a whole nother thing. I want you to get in this car and ride with us through this journey, to understand what we up against, to understand what we conquered, to understand what we've dominated, to understand what we endured, so you can understand what we have inside of us. And this ain't no regular thing that these kids are dealing with. This ain't the things that we're dealing with. Some colleges don't have to deal with.
Like what?
You want me to get naked on here, and I'm trying to be good. Say, for instance, when we had the storms,
Right.
we were without water for quite some time. Could you imagine that? Being away from home at a college without water? That's not an indictment on Jackson State, because the whole city was in that same situation.
Right.
But how do you deal with it? How do you handle it? How do you get past it and get through it and get by it? Now, though, that can't bring you close together as a team and as a staff and as a unit. I don't know what will. But it was some tremendous, challenging situations that we had to deal with. Man, I was in the pool bathing. You don't see it in the documentary. I took a bath in a dirt pool. I went in the bathroom and soaked myself down and jumped in the pool and finished it off. I had to take buckets of water and scoop it out of the pool to fill my toilet up. And that's going to give you 2 flushes. You better handle that flush right, because you have to go back down, get some water breaking. I mean, the pool, probably after a few days, the pool, you start seeing get lower and lower, because everybody starts saying, oh, that's how he's doing it. So it was tremendous. And to think of these kids on campus, that's with an adult mind, what we had to understand. But think about kids. Not only that, we got young women as trainers, as equipment persons, what they had to deal with. You know, some young men don't mind being funky, but not a young woman. She
Right.
wants to stay clean and fresh, and that wasn't easy whatsoever. Then to be ready for a game that week as well, tremendous.
In your mind, how good is your team this year?
We're better than we were this spring.
Your son's quarterback. Mm-hmm. Describe him as a player.
He's smart. Our attributes here are smart, tough, fast, disciplined. He's smart. He's tough, fast, not meaning just foot speed, but being able to analyze and read a defense and make the proper read. And he's a disciplined young man, whereas his teammates really respect him for the work that he puts in off the field, which translates on the field. And he has an opportunity. Shedeur has an opportunity to really do something special.
How have you taught him over the years to handle the Sanders name? Because he's the quarterback. He got the Sanders name. The hate is coming.
We were built on that.
That's what I mean. How do you teach him?
You can't grow up in a 40,000 square foot house and don't know how to handle hate. Please, well, we know how to deal with that. His father has dealt with that in his whole entire life. So we don't major on the minor. That's a minor part of life. We focus on the major. What we majoring in? being dominant, what we majored in being prepared, what we majored in. Only way we could be confident in is we're prepared and we work our butts off to reach this moment. And when we reach this moment, why wouldn't we be prepared of it? So practice, or the game becomes like practice. And practice is really the game. That's how we adapt to things. That young man right there has a gift, and I cannot wait for the world to see it.
Is that why pressure, because we talked about it a lot of times, why you never, what is pressure?
What is pressure? Pressure is a single mama trying to make ends meet. Father gone somewhere, she don't know when he coming back. Pressure is someone in the hospital right now fighting for their life. Pressure is a dope fiend shooting up because he's lost all hope and he's feeling that needle in his arm or her arm is going to allow he or her to escape for just a moment. That's pressure. That's a game, man. This has a scoreboard up. Half the people in the stadium going to leave happy. Half of them going to leave sad. This is a game. That ain't pressure.
Now, is that what you taught him and Shiloh, who's also on the team from the time they started playing?
Yeah, but we control what we can't control. We don't worry about nothing else. We control what we can't control, but we prepare to be dominant.
When did you know Shedeur was good, could play at this level?
When Shedeur was a young man, his nickname is Grown. I mean, we call him Grown because he's always acted ahead of his time, of his tenure, of his age demographic. He's always been mature. He's always been rock steady. Shiloh has a tremendous gift as well. Shiloh is a little more temperamental. Shiloh is a little more ready to swing on you at point. Shiloh is a little more, that's my Cain and Abel. One of them Cain and one of them is Abel, all right?
Right.
So I love them. I can't wait till we see them get down, and I can't take my eyes off the game because one is the quarterback and one is the quarterback of the defense playing safety.
What's it mean for you to have your sons here with you?
It means a lot for a father to, first of all, not to just be present in their life, but to be present in their life. For Shedeur to just call me just a minute ago to just talk about practice. We meet every Sunday mornings for brunch after a game on Saturday or a scrimmage on Saturday. And then I meet with Shiloh probably 3-4 hours later, and we go to a dinner. So I get both of my kids, I get to see them mature right before my eyes, and I get to see them play. And I get to father them. Every once in a while, they say, okay, I need dad now. I don't need the coach. Or they say, I don't need the coach, I need dad. See,
right.
we talk about the girlfriend sometimes. We talk about life. We talk about how you handled this and what did you see in that. So they get it all, and I'm happy to be here for them in that aspect. But it's not only them. I have 110 in the locker room. So some of the meetings that I have in that office is tremendous, man. And I love being in that position because it goes from the spiritual side of it. It goes from the young women in their lives. It goes from the football side of it. It goes back to the family members, how do they handle it? Then it goes to the NIL aspect of life. Then it goes back to what if, or do you think I could do, or do you believe? And I'm a straight shooter. So I love all the different hats. You was just in my office. You see all the hats I have on, right? Because I wear so many hats in their lives, but I love it.
How important is the Orange Blossom Classic, the Southern Heritage Classic, to putting that Jackson State brand out there, even though it's out there?
Jackson State was Jackson State before us. Let's get that straight.
Right.
Jackson State will be Jackson State after us. Let's get that straight. But to have our brand, and when I say our brand, I'm talking about the Sanders or the Prime brand, marry that, it takes it to yet another level. And I'm pretty sure Southern Heritage, as well as the Orange Blossom, has understood how we can impregnate things expeditiously. I love it. I have yet to be involved in one of these classics of that stature. We've had our own here last year, but during the pandemic season, everything was diminished. But what I hear about the Orange Blossom and what I hear about going to Memphis to get down, I can't wait to experience it. I really can't. You got to understand my kids, man. They've never played in a huge state, Shiloh, South Carolina. But when Shedeur told me, Dad, we never had a band. at Trinity. Dad, I never played in front of more than 2, 3, 4,000. So like these crowds are enormous. Like complaining, I was playing by no locker room. I didn't have no locker room when I was in high school. I never had some of the stuff. So I want to improve everything, but I don't complain. I just want to improve it.
2 last things. Did you have a favorite moment from last year?
The favorite moment from last year, the beginning and the end were my favorite moments. I couldn't wait to start, but right when we weren't able to compete because of COVID, I was excited because this is the beginning of the new era. I couldn't wait for that. I couldn't wait to get rid of some stuff, bring in some stuff. It's like going into a new crib, man. You carry some stuff, but some of that stuff you don't want. Some of that stuff that don't look good. It was hidden back in the 70s, but right now that ain't it. That ain't it. They don't fit the same no more. All right. So I love it. I love the beginning, but I did love the ending. And now we're at the genesis of the new thing, and I cannot wait to display it.
Is there a difference in the feeling that you get as a coach starting the season as opposed to when you were a player?
That's a great question, my brother. I'm still amped up, hyped to play, like I'm playing. I'm a different kind of coach. I ain't no regular coach. I feel my guys. I feel my coaches. I feel the fans. I feel the band. I feel everything, and I see everything, and I love it. Getting ready to, I can't have a direct impact on the game physically. That's the only difference. But mentally, I can. Emotionally and psychologically, I can. And that don't start on game day. That starts now. That starts every day. We just want to get 2 to 3% better every day. Just imagine if we got 2 to 3% better every day, 6 days a week, not 7, because 7 is the party. On the 7th day, it's the party. I'm cool. Shoot, that's 18% better every week. I'm good.
You got this job, Eddie George at Tennessee State.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked, maybe Ray Lewis one day, maybe Ed Reed.
Don't forget Tyrone Wheatley.
And
some other, he's been a tremendous asset to me.
Do you think this is the next wave of how it's going to happen?
I'm not going to say that, because this isn't just a job or occupation you jump into because you have credentials. This is something you jump into because how we started this interview. Because it was called by God. You don't want to jump into this thing and you ain't equipped for this ride. Last time I jumped on something at Disney and I wasn't equipped for that ride, my kids laughed at me a lot. I didn't know we was going to take off backwards. We took off in that darn roller coaster backwards. And by the time I got to the end, I was sick as a dog. I was mad at everybody. I said, take me home. This is one of those rides. You don't just jump into this HBCU thinking you finna just soar. No, baby. It's faith to faith, glory to glory. It's different levels to this thing. And if you ain't in it for the right reasons, it will expose you.
What do you mean?
You gotta want to do this. You gotta embody this. You gotta love kids, man. You gotta love the moment of all this. You got to wake up in the morning and say, let's go get it. Let's go get it. You got to sit here and during the falling asleep watching film. Like, man, let me take the butt on. I can't watch no more film. Like, you got to go to bed with these kids on your mind, with the program on your mind. What can you come back tomorrow and enhance? What could you take to the next level? This ain't no time clock that you just punch in and punch out, man. It ain't that. For the glory, it ain't enough glory. For the stories written, it ain't enough of that. This has to be authentic. If not, it's not going to be good for you or no one else, because there's a whole lot of hiccups in this thing, man. Yeah, whole lot of.
What is the thing that's keeping more coaches out of it? Or is that
opportunity?
What do you mean?
More young men. Let's take a Marshall Faulk.
Right.
Dear friend, one of the smartest football minds I've ever articulated with about the game. he was close to one of these opportunities at HBCU. Can't say which one, but he was close. All he needs is an opportunity. See, a lot of guys like that, of that standard and that status, they're not going to come and beat your door down because they feel like, hey, man, you know, I'm going to let you know I want it, but I'm not going to beg you for it because of their status. And sometimes that's not selfish, that's not prideful. That's like, I can help you and I got a lot to offer. Not only my football knowledge, but my resources, my connectivities. We want to have that practice field that we have right now if it wasn't for the resources. We want to have those multiple helmets that we have in the uniforms if it wasn't for the resources and the connectivity. So different places that some of these guys can take your program is phenomenal. If I didn't have the connectivity and the resources, I couldn't do half the things that I'm doing right now here at Jackson State University.
Well, I think that's one of the keys, that you're able to leverage your relationships in a good way, and that if you can get more guys in it, because that's what happens at, like I went to Ohio State, that's what happens at bigger Power 5 programs. You just have more alumni who have more money, who have more relationships.
I'm glad you said that. They have more money and more relationships. But see, as a people, oftentimes we don't give back to what blessed us. Because oftentimes we don't think that's how we were blessed. We think we were the reason. And we don't get back at those other institutions. Oftentimes they get back to what helped them get to the point where they are right now in life. So the giving don't match the living.
Now, you also use social media more than most coaches.
Got to.
Have you talked to some of the other HBCU coaches about this is a platform that you can use?
I'm not built like that, my brother. Like if I'm asked, I will, I'm going to give you every darn resource I have, but I'm not going to force it on you or try to pretend like I know more than you. I could be tremendously successful in this area. If you ask me about it, man, I'm going to give you everything, because why? God got enough of me and you and him and her. That's just the way I get down. But I'm not going to bombard you with that as if I know more than you. That's my gift. Marketing is my gift from the beginning, from the genesis of this thing. So I would think that some would want to know how you do it and how you get down to it. It's cameras everywhere. We got a darn marketing team around here. That's what we do at a high level, and we understand it and we truly get it. And this is for our kids. Before I leave and when I leave or whatever, if God asks me to leave, I'm still going to be prime because of the marketability that I sustain. So this is for the kids, man. I want my kids to shine. And I'm not talking about my biological two. I want my kids to shine. I really do.
Well, see, I know you took some criticism last year, whether it's veiled or not, from other coaches, in part, and Eddie will get some this year because you didn't come a traditional route.
What is the traditional route?
Well, it's supposed to be grad assistant.
Who said that? Who made up that rule?
They said that.
Who is they?
Whoever they is.
They said you weren't supposed to play two sports, but we did it. They say you weren't supposed to make $1 million coming out of college because you hadn't played a snap in the NFL, but I did it. Like, who is they that been talking? Because whoever they is, I never get identified. I never meet who they are. This is a new day. This is a new game. This is a new age. Our routes are expedited now. Oftentimes, we don't have to go through the channels and the trials and tribulations that our forefathers and our ancestors went through because they gave us a navigational system. What does 14 years in the NFL account for? Grad assistant? TBE means the best ever. What does that account for? John, you know me. I could be a defensive back coach. I could have been that a long time ago in the NFL. That's not the route I choose. I don't want to coach no pros that got so much money you can't even talk to them. They can't hear you because of their bank account. I love to impact youth and college students, man. That's what I do. That's what I've been doing for years. How many youth fields we built in the inner city in Dallas? Several. And we still building fields here now. That's just what we do. That's how we get down. I don't know what tradition is, man. I respect and I honor and I truly admire tradition, but some things God may just scream suddenly.
You always been like that?
Always. From the Genesis.
That's what I'm saying. Even playing track and baseball and football at Florida
I
State.
always had a gift, man. Why would I not exercise my gift? Because this fool can't do what I do. And I'm going to give him the ability to downplay me and talk about me and naysay me when he's not equipped to even do what I can do on my worst day. No. Are you going to believe a critic or are you going to trust God?
That's the question that you always got to ask yourself.
There you go. I trust God, dog. My critics have critics. My critic got a critic. And you want me to believe them?
I know the quarterback excites you.
Mm-hmm.
Who else on this team excites you?
Coaching staff. Coaching staff really excites me. I want to win because, first of all, we have better players. I want to win, second of all, because we have better coaches. I want to win, third of all, because we've united those coaches, those players, and we're able to get the best out of them. And I want to win because we're good.
Now, here's a question. What is a win for you?
There you go. A win for me ain't like a win for everybody else. Because see, we just say, for instance, we went undefeated and no one went pro. Is that a win?
Knowing you, no.
You darn skip it ain't. So if several people went pro, but we didn't win, is that a win?
I know that ain't a win for you.
There you go. The way we equate wins is totally different. I know what a win is to me. I'm not going to tell you what a win is. I'll tell you, but I'm not going to tell them what a win is to me. But I know exactly what a win is for me. And it's not just a win for me. This community has to win, man. This city has to win. The youth has to win. My youngsters has to win. Academically, we got to win. There's so many factors in what a win really looks like. For me, it's unbelievable.
And I've known you a long time.
Perhaps.
25 years.
Yes, a long time.
I really know you.
You do.
Why is it that you think people think it's all about you and you're self-centered?
They don't look behind the veil, man. They can't get past the frame. They can't get past the lights. Because if they look hard enough, they say, you know what, I ain't never heard that brother curse. They look hard enough, they say, you know what? I heard he never takes alcohol in his life. They look hard enough, they say, you know what? I don't think he's ever been high or smoked or done anything remotely. You know what? He's a great father. But they won't look hard enough. Because if you look hard enough, you're going to mess around and find the truth. We don't like the truth, man. We don't like that. We like to think what we want to think. So we can have a fantasy in our minds when the truth can hit you right in the face. And some people don't want the truth, man. Period.
Now, one of the things we debate quite often, or a little bit, you say the talent in the HBCU is just as good as some of the Power Five.
Yes.
And I go
certain positions.
I go, now you're my boy. But I don't know about that.
Certain positions. DBs, receivers. DBs, receivers, the skill positions are. They are. I feel like they really are. Now, where they get us at is with the big fellas. Offensive line and defensive line and the depth thereof and the quarterbacks. That's what the difference of the game. The defensive backs, I'm telling you, there's some defensive backs and receivers in the SWAC that can flat out do it. I've seen it. I see it on a daily basis. I watch the film. The body types, the athleticism, the bend, the flexibility on the offensive defensive lines, and the quarterback's knowledge and being able to spin it and not just an RPO guy or run first, pass second guy. That's where they get us at.
Is that what you mean in terms of getting changed to increase HBCU football? You got to get better training tables. You got to get better weight rooms. You got to get better at that to make better athletes.
How we gonna get better when we eating what they eat? How we gonna get better when we sleeping like they sleep? We ain't living like they living. We're not getting the studies academically, the resources with the tutors and all of this that they're getting. If we want to level the playing field, we got to level the darn playing field and quit talking about it and be about it. It's easy to know what it is. We know what it is. We got to do it.
How do you do it, though?
It starts with a plan. It starts with a plan. And then it starts, oh, this is good. This is good. It starts with a plan. Influenced by a man. You got to have a plan, you got a man. To get it done. How did Alabama change? A plan and a man. Think about all these wonderful, great programs in our country. How did they change? It was a plan and a man. And the rest is history.